Hello, welcome to Old Nerd Watches Trick or Treat. Another spooky season pick for our spooky season Halloween right now. Um, I I haven't watched this actually in quite a while. I just picked this up, this 4K disc. I just picked up from Arrow's. They had a sale just recently, Arrow Video, and I picked it up with a couple others. And it's been a long time since I've watched Trick or Treat. I've loved it since the first time I saw it, but just haven't gotten around to watching it again in a few years. And I just did, and it's just as good as I remember. Movie moved real fast. The movie's just a pinch over an hour and a half long, but it goes by quick. They're talking about making a sequel to this, and they have been for years. And Michael Dougherty, the writer director of this, he's spoken about it a few times, saying that he's waiting for the circumstances to be correct before they go ahead with a sequel. They want it to live up to the first one, I believe. So they're waiting until they can get it just right, apparently. But I haven't really heard any news lately about where the sequel is at, as far as if it's started production, if it's been written. I think actually no, I think it has been written, but maybe not. Anyway, there's supposed to be a sequel, and it just hasn't happened yet. But anyway, this disc is awesome. It is filled with bonus features. It's got a whole bunch. There's been a million releases of Trick or Treat since it came out 10 years ago or whenever. There's been a ton of DVDs and Blu-rays that have come out, both just basic editions and special editions, both. This is like the latest and greatest, I think. I don't think you can get anything newer than this at this point. So this includes a lot of the original bonus features that came out on discs released prior to this, plus a whole slew of new interviews and a new commentary. It has two commentary tracks, an old one and a new one. Tons of special features on here, and this looks great in 4K. It already looked great. The disc is in my player because I'm still watching the bonus features. But yeah, the movie looks great. It looked great before it was released in 4K, but the 4K release looks really, really nice. This comes with a whole bunch of these postcards, stills from the movie. And they all have Sam on the back. Some really great ones. Here's Brian Cox. So Michael Dougherty, who wrote and directed this movie, he worked on the X-Men movies, the original X-Men movies, X-Men 1 and X2. I think he was a writer, I believe. And Bryan Singer was the director. Bryan Singer produced this movie because he was riding pretty high on his X-Men and Superman success at this time, I think, and he was a big time producer then. But then he got in some scandal, and now you don't hear from him anymore. But Dougherty, who wrote and directed this, worked his way up, worked on the X-Men, the original two X-Men films, and then was able to get this made. This was a movie he wanted to get made for quite a while, and it took off. Like, people loved it. That's him right there. That's Michael Dougherty with Brian Cox. Comes with this big old poster. I'm not going to unfold it. It's a double-sided poster with Sam. A booklet with some behind-the-scenes info, color photos, and a Paquin, of course, who was in X-Men and X-Men 2 as Rogue. She got a part in this. Brian Cox, he was in, X2? I can't remember now. So a bunch of X-Men alum showed up in this movie. What's his name? He's been in so much stuff. If what is his name? I can't think of it right now. His name is Dylan Baker, and if you look up his IMDb page, this actor, he was in the Spider-Man movies, the Sam Raimi, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies. He was Dr. Kurt Connors, who becomes the Lizard. He never turned into the Lizard in the Spider-Man movies, but I think they were working their way up to having him become the Lizard. But he was in Spider-Man 2 and 3 as Dr. Kurt Connors. And if you look up his IMDb page, it is massive. He's been in so much stuff since the 80s, I think. His listing goes all the way back to the 80s, his credits do. And then there's a little card. Oh, Alice, Sweet Alice. That's an old Brooke Shields movie when she was a little kid. She was in this. But I guess Arrow has a streaming service. And that's what this card's for. But yeah, this disc came with a ton of good stuff. Like I said, 4K picture, UHD sound, all of these inserts, nice slipcase, and a ton of extra bonus features. So this is a great spooky season movie. If anybody hasn't seen this yet, I imagine most people have seen this by now. But if you haven't seen it yet, you're missing out. I don't know if it streams anywhere. It probably does. But if you can find the discs all over the place out in the wild. There's been, like I said, so many releases of this movie. So you can find this pretty easily if you're out and about looking for DVDs or Blu-rays. But anyway, I highly recommend it. And if you know any more about this release or this movie, please comment it down below. If you like this content, come back for more movie reviews. I also do comic book reviews. I do a series of videos on here where I'm reading my Marvel Comics collection in release date order, and I do a video on each comic as I read it. Please like, share, and subscribe. Enjoy spooky season, and I'll see you next time.